What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Run Your Mouth Podcast. We're here and we're doing it. We got all sorts of news topics and we're stalling because I want to give people an opportunity to find the chat, hop into the chat, tell me what's up. You know what? Instead of stalling, why not take this as an opportunity to thank the loyal sponsors of this show, sheathunderwear.com. Use promo code RYM. You get yourself 20% off. And let's say you're just not in the mood for stepping up your underwear game. Well, then you can go to yokratom.com, get yourself a full $60 worth of kilos. You can get kilos for a full $60. All right, let's just get into some news topics because we've got big stuff going on today. I mean, we're back in the groove. There's no more end of year projects. There's no more touring, except I'm going to be in St. Louis this weekend. You guys showing up for St. Louis? First tour date of the new year with Davey Smith playing a club. Dude, you know, as much as I love showing up to people's backyards and setting up sound systems and then being like, don't talk to me yet. I haven't put everything together. You're like a mom before a party, which is not a good energy to have. Or you're like, I'm not ready for you. I'm not ready to be funny yet. I'm trying to put up the speaker system. Clubs, you just get to hang out. You get to sit in the green room. You get to put in an order with the waitress. Then they got perfect sound systems. And sometimes you get random people that aren't from our audience. You actually get laid. So, you know, club comedy is pretty cool. Everyone, come hang out. This weekend, St. Louis with Davey Smith. And if you go to comicdavesmith.com, we've got a whole slew of tour dates roaming the country. All right, let's get into some news topics. Producer man, give me my news drops and make sure that those levels are accurate. I don't want any bullshit today. I don't want things not working properly. All right, here we go. Today's episode. Nutritionists are criticizing the NIH food pyramid for ranking Lucky Charms healthier than steak. Are these nutritionists overlooking the lucky aspect? Yesterday, Martin Luther King Day was celebrated in Boston with a dick. No, it's eating ass. No, it's a don't shoot statue. College professors are asking if it will sow further racial tensions in the area, reminding the local whites that they could be cucked at any minute. Do you guys see that statue? Wait, we can pause this for a second. You guys see that statue? I mean, let's get the Twitter poll going. You guys are in the chat. What did it look like to you most? Did it look like a celebration of a giant black penis? Was it because I mean this is like whether or not the blah 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 blah. I froze everybody. I had a brain freeze. If like tacos or sandwiches or hot dogs or sandwiches, like you're gonna be able to debate this forever. Does it look like it? Really depends on what angle you look at it from. I'm thinking they must have called the guy up. They were like, we need a local black dude who can do statues. And they called this guy up. They're like, we're looking to honor Martin Luther King. We've pulled our resources together. We've got $10 million to get a nice statue going up here as a remembrance of Martin Luther King. And we want you to do it because of your incredible blackness. And the guy's like, listen, I only do hands. I mean, go check out my website. I'm a hands guy. That's what I do. I don't do faces. I don't do busts. I don't do big monuments. I don't do statues. That's not what I do. I'm a hands guy. If you need bronze hands, I could do bronze here. Like, listen, we've got a $10 million paycheck here. We're just looking for a nice movie. He goes, you know what? I can make it work. I'm a hands guy, but I'll make it work. We can do something artsy here. I think I can get two hands going in different directions. I can make it look like one hand's holding the other. And as long as you look at it from this specific angle, it's going to look nice. So you might want to like put up a curtain so that people don't actually look at this from like the 360 because sometimes arms, when you're looking at them from the right, they look like horse penises. So, you know, that's not on me. And if you look at it from another angle, it looks like in that Pink Floyd, The Wall thing, when they're singing about defecating on your head and it becomes the wall turns into the walking ass monster that's going to take a shit. So it looks like somebody's trying to hug that. Someone's trying to pull their own head into their own asshole. But listen, I'm an arms and hands guy. So $10 million. Yeah, I can get that done. All right. What else do I got? We'll bring back my news drop music. Mr. Newsman. Here we go. With new studies on the dangers of gas stoves, the United Groups of Neurotics is wondering what other household items might be killing them. The toaster gets smoky. Is that safe smoke? Dude, toasters get way more smoky than your thing when we need to do a good job of cleaning out the side of the toasters. What about slow flushing toilets? Am I breathing above the recommended amount of turd fumes? What is the EPA's guidance on turd fumes? And what about loud hinges? Are the loud hinges making me deaf? I mean, anything in your house could be killing you. We've been using gas stoves forever. Now we're finding out that it's giving the kids lung problems. Actually, that's why they're falling down during soccer practice. It's global warming in the ovens that we left in people's houses. All right, next story. Tennessee is recovering from a police sex scandal where a female officer was fired for having sex with 5 fellow officers. The kind of thing Kamala Harris got promoted for. And what kind of reward is that for being a team player and helping morale around the office? That's a fair question. The 5 male officers were also fired, and 3 others were suspended after coming forward with the defense of, hey, man, I only got a hand job. The real question is, how do you find out which complete dork in your office is actually a super secret slut? You probably got to open up a can of Adderall and see who runs over like a rat. I feel like that's the move. I feel like you see dorky chicks standing around. I feel like that's the rat trap for dorky chicks that are secret sluts is, who's doing amphetamines. Mousy faces into amphetamines, and you might have a secret super cool slut on your hands. But then, you got to do further investigations to discover, like the etiquette of how many of your other coworkers you can share that lady with before maybe, because if it's just you, then it becomes a relationship. Now you got a workplace relationship on your hands. But if you share with too many people, then there's one guy who ends up going to HR and going, hey, how come the rest of these people got laid and I only got a hand job? I don't understand. What is it with why is this lady blowing everybody else in the office and I'm only getting a handy? And so that's the other dynamic. And then last one is the egg shortage here to mess up SEO searches about what Moderna is doing to women's bodies? Pretty sure that's original. I might have saw that somewhere. If I did, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that was original, and it was a good one. I liked it. Maybe I didn't say it in the most coherent way. All right, let's move on. I got other news topics. Gas stoves. Let's get into the gas stove stuff. So, obviously, we got global warming going on. And so we need everything running off the electrical grid. We can't have anyone with any capacity to in any way not be tied into some sort of a grid that can be controlled by other people at all points in times. I mean, if the World Economic Forum is going to be turning off our electricity, even just for a little while, to show you that you need better centralized planning because look at the disasters that can happen when we make them happen, well, then we can't have people with their own farmable land and their own gas stoves. We need everyone fully reliant on this system at all times. Did you guys see that one? That one was creepy because firstly, he just sounds like such a villain. And then he's talking about, you thought Corona was bad. Well, can you imagine what would happen if something happened to your electric grid? That's why people better put us in charge so we can, well, what's wrong with the electric grid? Is it the fact that that's been a government monopoly forever? Why am I relying on a grid that might be able to go down at any juncture in time? Why is this grid vulnerable to hacks? Maybe it needs to be less centralized. And then you look back, because you might remember this. You go all the way back to the Sam Parker days when he warned us that Corona was coming. And he was like, this is some weird shit that you got Bill Gates and you got these other people 2 years ago. They're running models about what could happen if a pandemic struck. And then all of a sudden a pandemic did strike. And now they're going, oh, that you thought pandemics were bad. Just imagine what could go wrong with the electrical grid. And imagine if someone were to hack it. And imagine if someone were to hack it that we've already claimed is the worst enemy ever that we're not actually in a war with. I'm talking about Russia, just in case you're not following it. That Russia is usually the people that hack people. And now you've created this super villain and you're saying, hey, we're not at war with these people, but this guy is the worst guy ever. And then you're telling me that the worst thing that could possibly happen is the exact thing that could easily be blamed on this person. All right. You know what? I wasn't even trying to get into the World Economic Forum. I was just trying to make a commentary on gas stoves. We really went off the rails there. I mean, I really just brain farted out a lot of what I've been thinking about the last couple of days, which is they want everyone on the electric grid. Everyone's cars plugged in. They want everything on a system that they could be shutting down at any given moment in time. No independence. All right, but back to the gas stoves. So they're saying that the gas stoves are dangerous. I want to tell you guys a fine tale of when I was a young lad trying to barbecue with my dad on a Monday night. I guess my mom was doing something else. Me and my dad, we had to forage our own food amongst the kitchen, and it was a winter night, and my dad decides we're barbecuing. And we go outside. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The fact that I survived to tell this tale is incredible. We go outside. I don't know. Maybe we got some hot dogs or some stupid bullshit, and we're going to start the grill. We start the grill, and the thingy thing's not working, right? And so my dad realized, you know what? We're going to have to toss a match in there. So my dad, he goes, tosses a match into the grill, and for like a split second, we were standing in a sphere of blue. Now, I don't know how we didn't burn alive in that process, but we were certainly running the gas a little bit too long. Made the unwise decision of just tossing a match in. And when that match hit, I'm telling you, for a split second, we were turning it just in a perfect sphere of blue. And then the gas grill just ran. It was no problem. All right. So that's on the gas. I mean, that's a grill. I understand. No one's got a grill inside their house. But, I'm just saying that their whole claim is that, gas stoves could be dangerous because we ran a test where we got rid of all the insulation. And then we had a retarded person that we found on the internet run the gas stove, and they were not very good at turning it on and off. And there was a whole bunch of leakiness. And apparently, if you had kids around who were also predisposed for, because of their fatness and their general wheezing, we put them into the confined rooms without windows with zero insulation. And now we got a study here that says that this increases asthma. So that's what they did. They took the gas stoves and they said, hey, we can't be having these gas stoves because these kids are getting asthma. It's got nothing to do with the fact that we want to start putting air quality monitors into your own home and making sure that everything's electric, so that, we have to get more coal from China in order to keep our electric grid up and running. It's got nothing to do with any of that. It's got to do with the study of where we sealed all of the windows on this room, and then we had a kid, basically smoke on a pipe of coal, and then say that it was the gas fumes that gave him bad lungs, and nothing to do with vaccinations that people might have had. So that's what they're doing, right? They're coming forward with these studies, but then you get the people on the other side, and they're like, yeah, but electric is actually worse because with the electric stoves, people end up causing fires. And I'm here to tell you that one's kind of true. You know how many times I've actually left my oven on? I mean, I got one of the electric ones, which people that are complaining that electric ones are bad to cook on, come on, you're not that good of a chef. None of you people are such good fucking chefs that you're burning your eggs because you're using the electric instead of the gas. I got to tell you, I actually kind of prefer the electric because I'm dumb and fidgety. And so when I'm working with the gas stove, I always end up like just hearing the click. Like it never clicks on right away, even though there is something satisfying with the like when the flames actually, when it does light. And then, all right, and maybe, I don't know, if you're really one of these patient people who's really good at lowering it all the way down. Also, gas stoves get more annoying when you're trying to make noodleage and your bubbles are coming over the top and then they're just going into the stove, and then you end up with a fire and then you forgot that you were running the gas whatsoever. So, I guess if you're trying to evaluate what is more putz friendly, is it the gas stove, which you have to be somewhat more aware of is running, or is it the electric one, which is very easy to leave on and then walk into your kitchen 3 hours later and wondering why it's so hot in there and realizing, oh, I've left the broiler on? I will say electric broiler over gas oven. Do gas ovens have like a flame on top, or is it also, are they always electric broilers? Because I'm a big fan of the electric broiler. I make a lot of shitty overcooked meat on electric broilers. But just to wrap this one up, this complete nonsense topic of gas stoves. So clearly, they came up with some sort of false study about the dangers, and that, hey, we got to help out these kids by getting more of the electric thing, which puts them at more risk for fires. And I didn't delve into all the details on this one because sometimes, how is it every single story is the same time? You've done enough reading. You don't have to do it anymore. You don't. They come out with the story. You could just assume, okay, it's a fake study, and there's consequences that they're overlooking to the policy that they're trying to initiate, which is actually going to be more harmful to the exact community that they're trying to represent. If you could just go right down that one sentence, and I promise you just do 3 minutes of investigative research, and that will turn out to be the story 92% of the time. And the theme is that they want to have more control over your lifestyle in the name of safety, so that, I guess the people in the World Economic Forum and Bill Gates can make more money. All right, I just said a whole bunch of shit. Why don't we take a couple comments here? We've got Wade French coming in for the wood stove. Yes, I'm sure that's probably better for your health, is a wood stove from within the house. Beta Bams, gas stoves will always own electric. There you go. People are really into their gas stoves. I cooked on both. It does not make a difference. Electric oven, FTW, gas top, 100% superior. I must just be that bad of a chef that I don't know. I can't not tell you the difference in my shitty, horrible home cooking between using a gas or electric stove. All right, next topic. What do we got? Joe Biden follow-up questions we'd like to ask. If you were not on Twitter yesterday, go get yourself on Twitter. There are countless videos of Joe Biden. He's up there. He's trying to memorialize Martin Luther King, and he's saying all sorts of dumb shits. But we just need a couple follow-up questions to make this more fun. Like, hey, Mr. Biden, whose birthday are we celebrating? In the middle of a speech, for some reason, he decides to sing someone happy birthday, and then he realizes that he doesn't know the person's name. That's a bad moment. That's a bad moment when you hop into a conversation and you just realize. Here was another one. At some point, he said, comment that George Floyd's death was more impactful than Martin Luther King's. And where's the follow-up question on that one? I mean, that sounds like you're saying something profound here. Why was George Floyd's death more impactful than Martin Luther King's? Are you saying Martin Luther King wasn't having an impact until he was killed? Are you saying that both of those individuals weren't doing anything with their lives and it was through death that they were able to influence the culture? I mean, is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to say that Martin Luther King wasn't really accomplishing anything? I'm just curious to know what you were getting at. And then, of course, we should find out why Hunter Biden was paying him. I mean, this is off topic, but as long as we actually have the president available for questioning, why Hunter Biden was paying $50,000 a month rent to live in his own dad's house. And what documents were being kept in that house that Hunter Biden's paying $50,000 just to live in a house with these documents? Is these the documents for procuring kids? Well, what kind of documents are we looking at here? What kind of visitors was he having over? Of course, you weren't keeping any logs. That's where Hunter Biden's having his hooker parties. You're spending $50,000 a month on a house. You're calling up women going, hey, dude, I got a fucking nice ass spread here. You're going to come over? You're going to come and enjoy this $50,000 a month pad? This is the most expensive rental in the entire state. I mean, you could be renting like 4 blocks here for this price tag. For this price tag, there's you could probably rent all the houses on a block. But all right, moving on. What else we got? Yellen urges Congress to act ahead of January 19th debt limit deadline. So, every month we find out that we need even more money. They haven't spent enough money. They got to ship more to the Ukraines. And then every single month there seems to be some new debate about how much more money they're going to have. And I guess if there was any system in place to make sure people didn't spend too much money, I guess you'd have a limit. You go, all right, everyone, we're spending too much here. And then Janet Yellen's basically stepping forward and, hey, guys, if we're going to have a working system here, I need to know that you guys are fully committed to spending all of the money. We can't be having limits. If we want to be able to continue to sell our debt and have people fund this operation, the other people in the world are going to need to know that we have your full commitment to just spending all of the money. And then, usually when you go to the money people, you go to your accountant and they go, all right, we better take a second look at this. And they go, usually you're going to have to spend less. This is like your accountant going, hey, I need you to be spending even more, and forget the business expenses. I'm talking personal items. I need to know that you are fully committed to spending all of the possible money that anyone could possibly spend. Because if you don't do that, this whole corporation's going belly up. All right, last topic, and then we're going to get off of certain platforms so that we can delve into the most recent corona information. But this is from the AP. Expanded U.S. training for Ukraine forces begins in Germany. And now we're over in Germany, and we're actually we're not just giving the Ukrainians money. We're not just giving them our equipment. We're not just training them, I guess, remotely on how to use our equipment. Now we're actually setting up shop in Germany to further train the Ukrainians on how to spend our money with our military equipment that we've sent them. And what I just like about this is that, so here we are, we're refusing to fight Germany, but we're willing to fund, train, and basically empower the other side. It's like, usually if you're going to be a son of a bitch, you got to do it behind closed doors. Usually what you do is you go, hey, listen, I've got no control over this. I can't get involved. And then you call the other guy and go, hey, the other guy's scheming something over here. Hey, we're going to have to shut this thing down. That's usually what you do. If you want to be a son of a bitch behind closed, on the phone, you go, hey, listen, this isn't my lane. There's nothing I can do for you. I'm staying out of this. And then you call up the other side and you son of a bitch someone. That's how to be a son of a bitch. But you can't son of a bitch somebody out in public. You can't go, hey, listen, I'm not going to get involved here, and then go, yeah, but I'm going to write that guy a check and I'm going to train him on how to beat you. You know, like you guys, why aren't we being a little bit more discreet here in our son of a bitchery? All right, everybody, before we switch off of this platform, thanks once again to our sponsors, Yo Kratom, Yo Delta. Dude, load up on the Yo Deltas. You know, and do this here right. Just get yourself a big ass bag of gummies and fucking get after it. Promo code RYM 20% off for sheath underwears. Make sure your balls feel good. Why you gotta have nuts that are flopping all over the place? Sheathunderwear.com, promo code RYM. You get yourself 20% off. Let's take a couple comments. For anyone interested in watching the rest of this live stream, there are places that you can do it. You can go to Odyssey. You can watch the rest of it. You can go to Twitter right now, or you can go over to Twitch. I can continue to take live comments from Twitch, but in an effort to just remain respectful of the YouTube community, we understand that the rest of this content is too truthful for the platform. It's not what they like here. You know what I mean? So we just want to remain respectful. And so we're going to come off of YouTube now. David Allen, remember when John Jr. had a 15-minute meeting with a Russian lawyer and it was a 3-year scandal? Common sense, shut the government down, no more debt, lame duck session anyways. I'm okay with that. And then Larry Lazy Eye Bear, classic razor blade model. Give them the hardware and our weapons, MFGs, will make the bank. All right, here we go. Latest in COVID news starting in 10 seconds. Coming down from here. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, everybody. Remove. All right, we're down from that one.